Everyone's talking about the fights in episode 3 and 4, the duels, the tension, the moments where Maul nearly kills them. But that's not what stood out to me, because when you really look at what's happening here, Maul isn't just trying to win these fights. He's doing something far more dangerous. He's choosing his targets, studying them, and then breaking them from the inside out. And the scariest part, it's working. Because by the end of these episodes, he hasn't just gained power, he's planting something in Devon that might not go away. Episode 3, we see Devon, and right away, we know that something's off. She's not centered, she's not at peace, there's weight behind her actions, like she's carrying something unresolved. And Maul sees that immediately. Not just as a weakness, but as an opportunity, because the moment they meet, he doesn't attack her like a normal enemy. He studies her, he listens, and then he starts drawing connections between them. Both lost their families, both shaped by violence, both survivors of the same kind of pain. But where a Jedi would try to guide someone like that toward healing, Maul does the opposite. He leans into it, he pushes her, provokes her, tries to pull something out of her that she's been holding back. And that leads us into their first real confrontation, where it becomes very clear this isn't just a fight. When Maul finally engages Devon, watch how he fights. He's not aggressive, he's not desperate, he's controlled, almost casual. There are moments where he's fighting her with one hand, barely putting in effort, like he already knows how this ends. And while he's doing that, he's talking, not just taunting her, but targeting her. The Jedi wanted to kill me. You can be the one to do that. That line right there, that's not anger, that's strategy, because what Maul is really doing in this moment is trying to justify her anger. He's reframing the Jedi in her mind, not as protectors, but as something flawed, something worth questioning. And you can see it start to work. Devon begins to tap into something darker, not fully, but enough. Her movements change, her intensity shifts. She's no longer just defending herself, she's reacting. And that's exactly what Maul wants, because the moment a Jedi stops acting with clarity and starts acting on emotion, they become predictable, they become vulnerable. And Maul, he never loses control, not once. Which is why the most important moment in this entire fight isn't when it ends, it's how it ends, because Maul lets her go, not because he has to, but because he's already done what he came to do. After the fight ends, nothing looks different on the surface. Devon is still standing, still a Jedi, still in control, but internally, something has shifted, because Maul didn't need to defeat her, he needed to reach her, and he did. You can see it in the hesitation, in the way she reacts afterward, in the fact that she doesn't just want to walk away from that encounter unchanged. There's a question now, a lingering thought that wasn't there before, and that's how this starts. Not with fall, but with doubt. The most dangerous part about Maul, he doesn't try to turn someone in a single moment, he plants something small and lets it grow. And what makes this even more interesting is that Maul knows exactly what he's doing. He doesn't chase her, he doesn't finish the fight, he lets her go. Because in his mind, the fight isn't over, it's just beginning. And now, Devon is going to carry that conflict with her into every decision she makes moving forward. Which brings us to episode 4. We start to see the bigger picture. Maul has taken control of the Pikes, but not in a way that draws attention. He installs a puppet leader, Cult, someone who sits in the spotlight while Maul stays hidden behind it, and that tells you everything about how he operates. He doesn't want recognition, he wants control. This is the same kind of structure we saw him build before, through criminal syndicates, through fear, through influence. Not a throne, but a network. And what makes this even more dangerous is that nobody fully sees it happening. To the outside world, this just looks like shifting power between criminal factions, but underneath that, Maul is unifying them, shaping them, turning them into something that answers to him without ever needing to say his name. And while the Jedi are focused on stopping him and Lawson is focused on protecting his planet, Maul is already thinking bigger than both of them, because this isn't just about survival anymore, it's about positioning, power, preparation. He's not reacting to the galaxy, he's preparing to control a part of it. And that's what makes the next conflict so interesting, because now it's not just Jedi versus Maul, it's Maul versus everyone. While Maul is building power in the shadows, there's another conflict happening that's just as important, and it doesn't involve the Jedi at all. It's Lawson. Because what makes the situation so interesting is that Lawson and Maul actually want the same thing. They both don't want the Empire on this planet. Lawson sees it from a personal side. He knows once the Empire arrives, they don't leave. Not for him, not for his people, not for his family, and you can feel that pressure building around him. His home life is already strained. His authority is being tested. Even the people around him, like Two Boots, are starting to consider bringing the Empire in. So when Maul finally confronts him, this isn't just a villain threatening a leader, this is something else. Maul gives him a choice, not out of mercy, but out of calculation. Join me, work together, keep the Empire out. And for a moment, it almost makes sense, because from the outside looking in, Maul might actually be the only one capable of holding that line, but Lawson refuses, because even if their goal is the same, their methods are not. Lawson still believes in order, in structure, and protecting people the right way. Maul, he believes in control, power, and survival at any cost. So when Lawson says no, that decision seals everything, because Maul doesn't argue. He doesn't try to convince him again, he just acts, and the result is devastating. Lawson's men are outnumbered, outmatched. And just like that, the one thing Lawson was trying to prevent becomes inevitable. Now the Empire is coming. When Devon and her master finally confront Maul again, this fight feels different from the first time between Devon and Maul. Not just because of the stakes, but because of what's happening beneath the surface. Watch Maul closely here. He's not just fighting to win, he's controlling the pace, separating them, isolating them, forcing them into positions where they can't rely on each other. That alone shows you the gap in experience. But there are smaller details in this fight that say even more about who Maul is. At one point, he uses a forced screen, the same kind of technique used by Darth Sidious in Star Wars Episode 3. And that's not just some random ability, that's something learned, something remembered. A reminder that even though Maul operates differently now, he's still shaped by what he was trained to be. And then there's Devon. There's a moment in this fight, small but important, where she resets her stance and shifts into a defensive position almost identical to Obi-Wan Kenobi's Sarisu form, and Maul notices. You can see it in the way he reacts, that brief look. It's not just recognition, it's anger, because to Maul, that style represents something very specific: defeat, loss, Obi-Wan. And for just a split second, that history comes back to the surface. That's what makes this fight so interesting. It's not just physical, it's personal for both of them. Devon is fighting to prove something, to hold on to control, to stay aligned with what she believes is right. Maul, he's testing her, pushing her, trying to see how far she'll go, and by the end of it, he gets his answer. Because once again, he doesn't finish them, even after gaining the advantage. Even after separating them, even after nearly killing her master, Maul chooses to walk away. And at this point, that's not coincidence, that's a decision. Because if Maul wanted them dead, they'd be dead. So the real question is, why keep letting them live? And the answer goes all the way back to Episode 3. Maul isn't trying to eliminate his enemies, he's trying to change them, to reshape them, to pull them closer to his way of thinking, because dead opponents don't benefit him, but conflicted ones filled with doubt, anger, hesitation, those are the ones he can use. And Devon is exactly that. She hasn't fallen, but she's not untouched either. There's something there now, something unresolved, and a part of that understands what Maul is saying, even if she doesn't want to admit it. And Maul knows that. That's why he lets her live, because as long as she's still fighting that internal battle, she's still within reach, still influenceable, still someone who could eventually break. And that's what makes this so dangerous, because Maul doesn't need to win right now. He just needs time for that doubt to grow, time for anger to build, time for that seed he planted to take root. And now, with the Empire arriving, everything is about to get more complicated. The Empire arriving that brings changes it changes the rules completely, because up until now, this has been contained. Maul in the shadows, Jedi in the hiding, law enforcement trying to hold things together. But the moment the Empire steps in, there is no more balance, there is no more control, and that's a problem for everyone, including Maul, because for the first time in these episodes, he's not the biggest threat on the board anymore, and you could already see the cracks starting to form. He's injured. That hit to his cybernetic leg, it matters. He's slower, more vulnerable than he's been this entire time. And if the Empire brings something more than just soldiers, if they bring an Inquisitor, that could force Maul into a situation he hasn't been in yet, where he's the one being hunted. But at the same time, this could also push everything even further, because now Devon is caught in the middle of something bigger than just her mission. She wanted to bring Maul to justice, but now she's dealing with Maul, the Empire, and her own internal conflict. And that's where this gets dangerous, because if Maul keeps pushing and the Empire keeps tightening its grip, eventually something has to give. Because if Maul has been planting seeds this entire time, the real question going forward isn't just what he's going to do next, it's who's going to fall.